Okay, so let's maybe spin around the back here and we'll take care of the camera. Alright, let's go into our front view. We'll switch this to the back view. And we can also hide some stuff here, so let's maybe just keep the back glass as well as that back inside piece there. Hide unselected on that. Okay, and let's see. Let's actually undo that for a second. Let's do Control I and hide selected so we can keep our blueprints. And we're going to zoom in here and just do this lens here quick. Alright, it doesn't have to be super detailed. It's pretty small detail, so we'll just kind of block it out. So let's just maybe take another look at a reference here. We'll see if we have a decent picture of this. Okay, it's a little blurry, but we can kind of see what's going on here. I'm just going to move that over onto my second monitor here for a second so I can kind of look at it while we do this. Okay, we have that kind of bevel piece coming in from the inside. Let's maybe start with the outer frame here, and then we'll just kind of figure out if we need to modify that at all. Alright, so let's grab maybe a tube for this. So back to create panel, grab a tube. Let's draw that out in the center here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than we need. Alright, wanted to overlap the edge of the glass. Maybe something like that. And it's not super thick, but we'll do something like that for starters. Give it a little bit of thickness. And we'll just try to line it up here by centering that top edge. And for sides, let's take it up a bit. Let's do like 24. And we'll just line up this edge here with that edge so we know it's centered. Okay, and we'll also move it into the hole here. Okay, I want this one to slightly stick out through the glass just a bit. Alright, we also don't need these inner height segments here, so we'll take those off. Okay, and I'm just going to move it out a slight bit more. Later on we'll go around and we'll just make final adjustments on the position of each piece if we need to. Okay, so we're going to start with something like that, so about 17.5 on the first radius, about 15 on the second radius. And the height really doesn't matter, we can adjust it if we need to, so let's just convert to civil poly. And it virtually has no detail on this particular piece, but we might bevel the outer edge a little bit here. Okay, so let's ring these edges here, connect them up, let's do 2 segments. And I'm just going to bring that out just slightly. Alright, so we're going to move those edge loops out just a bit. Okay, give it a little bit of roundness. Alright, and obviously we have a piece of glass that also goes inside this piece, so let's maybe create some kind of little lip for it to sit on. Just going to ring that and connect it. Let's do 1 segment this time, and let's slide that out a little bit closer, maybe about 50 or so. And then we'll grab these inner edges here, ring those, control click polygon, and we're just going to create a little lip here by extruding these in. Okay, we want to make sure that we do this by local normal, so they extrude evenly, like that. So we'll crank that way down. We just want this to be a slight detail, maybe even a little bit less. Okay, maybe something like that. So around 0.3. Okay, and let's hit F3 here to go to wireframe, and we can get rid of some of the detail on the outside and the back we don't need. Okay, so let's go into edge again, and on the inside here I'm just going to select the 2 back edges. Let's do a ring and control click polygon. Alright, so we got all the back polys selected. We're just going to delete those out. And for the sides, let's grab the back border here on the top, and we'll just pull that forward here to shorten it up. We don't need it to be obviously that thick. Alright, so we'll just take it in so it's just inside the glass, and we'll make sure that we do it enough so that you can't see through the edge when we actually have this transparent. Okay, so I'm going to take it back maybe to about there, and we'll just leave it like that. Okay, and for the inner border I'm just going to select that, and let's just pull it back for a second so we can see where it intersects. Okay. Okay, and I'm just trying to decide if we should modify the inner back piece at all. Alright, let's maybe slightly modify this inner piece. So let's get a border here. We'll select the body back piece. Let's drop back down to turbo or to edit poly here, and I'm going to see if we can just modify this slightly. Rather than scaling it down, let's just actually maybe delete some of this off. Alright, so I'm going to grab these three edges here, ring them, control click polygon. Alright, I'm going to delete those for now. Okay, and then we'll go back to border, select the border here. We'll apply our turn on show on results, right? And in the front view, I'm just going to scale this down a little bit more, okay, to bring it in. And let's make sure we have those edge constraints off. Just a bit like that. We just want to make it a little bit smaller so we have some detail on the inside. Okay, something like that should work fine. We're going to need to do something here where they're intersecting. Let's go back to edge. I'm going to bring this edge right here. Let's turn off show on result for a second. Select this edge here and we'll ring it. Okay, I'm just going to turn on show on result again and connect it up with one segment. And we're just going to slide that down a little bit. Alright, just so it's inside the circle here, or inside this edge. About 40 or so with one segment, and okay. And I think we'll just kind of extrude the border back. So let's go back to border, grab the back border. Okay, turn on show result again. And we're just going to scale this up a little bit more so that it's kind of straight in there. Alright, we want to kind of fit these pieces together so they look like they somewhat make sense. Okay, we'll go with something like that for now, and let's go back to edge here, turn off show on result. Alright, we're going to select this edge right here, bring it and connect it up, do two segments, no pinch, no slide, and let's also add one here just to maintain a hard edge here. So let's do one, and we'll slide that down pretty tight. Okay, we'll see how that looks. Whoops. Okay, I'm just going to straighten those edges out a little bit here. I went a little too high on the scale, so I'm just going to take these two out for a second and rescale the back edge. Okay, so grab those back verts. Let's slightly scale that in so it's a little bit more straight, and then we'll re-add those two support edges. Okay, we'll also test smooth this front piece for a second. We're going to need to add some support on it as well. So let's do that first. Okay, so let's grab an edge here on the inside. Okay, we'll ring that up and connect it. Once again, two segments. Do one on the inside as well. And let's also do one on this little border here. So ring on there, connect. Let's do two, no pinch, no slide. Okay, we also need to add one on the outer edge here. Okay, so ring that at the side edge, connect it up one segment, slide that towards the front, maybe a little bit back, and let's also add one on the front. We'll just do both at the same time here by using two segments. Slide those out and take out the two center edges. We don't want to have this a hard edge running around the inside here. We just want it to be kind of flat and smooth. Okay, so loop those, we'll take those out. Alright, now we'll smooth it and just see how it looks with the other piece. Okay, I'm just going to add a third iteration of turbo smooth onto the inside of the back. Okay, so that'll give us a little ledge there that we can kind of fit the glass piece or kind of glass cap around later on. For the inside, let's just do something pretty basic. As you can see on the reference here, it's a little hard to tell what's going on this part, but that isn't really a big deal. We'll just kind of put another cylinder in the back here and then kind of just punch in a hole and then fill it with maybe a squished sphere. Alright, and obviously those blueprints are going to be no help at all back there. They're way too blurry. Alright, so we'll just kind of make this up. Let's try for this one maybe another tube. Actually, let's just use a cylinder, it'll be easier. Alright, so I'm going to drag it to a cylinder right in the center. Take that up a little bit bigger than we need. Give it a little bit of height. Alright, we'll try to just eyeball it into the center. Let's add an extra cap segment. Alright, so we can see these edges. And we're just going to line the left and right edge up there, right here, as well as the top and bottom. And we're going to need to add a couple more segments here to get that. It's 224, so we have a center edge. And we'll just line that up. Okay, and the height doesn't matter. Let's just convert it to editable poly. I'm going to the top view here. Just going to slide this back and touch up at the back of those other pieces. Okay, we're going to get rid of these height settings. We don't need those. And we also don't need the back polys. Alright, so let's grab the back polygons and delete them out. Okay, and we'll just do something here on the front. Okay, I don't want to make the actual lens too big. We'll maybe leave this like that. That looks about the right size. So let's go to vertex. We'll grab that center vert, control click polygon. And let's just maybe do an extrude on this. Okay, so we'll punch this in a bit. Alright, just to create a spot for the lens. Doesn't really matter with the height. Okay, and we also don't need these side polygons here from the cylinder, so we'll ring those and delete them. Okay, and I'm just going to maybe do another loop here at the back. Let's just grab these edges, connect them up, one segment, and we'll just take that out a bit towards the outside, about 60, and then we'll delete the center polygons. Okay, and just to give it a little bit more detail, I think I'll make this little ledge here a little bit thicker. Alright, so we'll go back to the top view. Let's grab this piece here. And we'll see if we can make that a little bit wider. Okay, so back to vertex. Okay, grab the back 3 rows of verts here and just move them back a little bit. And we'll just grab that second row of verts and we'll just move that edge up. Okay, and we'll just move this back a little bit more. And just touch it up like that. Okay, and let's maybe give it a little bit more detail here. I don't want to make it look too plain. Let's do a ring on this edge. Connect that up in one segment. I'm going to slide that a little bit more towards the center. And then we'll select this edge here, loop it. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a taper by pushing this edge back. Okay, now we'll just add a couple of edges here so we can smooth it out. You can chamfer them down if you want, but I'm just going to do it with a couple of extra segments. Oops. Okay, we'll make this pretty tight. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the inside and the back. Let's do one on the front as well. Okay, if you want to, you can take out those extra loops that we don't need. That one there and the one at the back here. Okay, so let's smooth this thing out and see if it looks good enough. Okay, I'm also going to change the color of this stuff so we can actually get a better idea what this looks like. Okay, I think that's probably okay for the camera. And if you want to, you can be a little bit more precise with that. I'm just kind of winging it for these pieces, but if you really want to find a good picture of the inside of the camera, you could definitely make this a little bit more accurate to what the actual one looks like. Alright, so let's put another sphere in there. Alright, so draw one of those out in the center. Make it a little bit bigger than we need. And we'll just center it up here. Okay, if you want to, you can actually use the align tool to make sure that it's right in the center, but with these extra edges lined up here, it's not that big of a deal to get it centered. Okay, also want to make sure that we push it in. And we'll kind of crush it down here again. So in the left view. We don't really need to have 32 segments on this. We're going to smooth it out, so let's do like 24. Convert to double poly, delete off the back half. Or you can hemisphere it if you want. Alright, we'll just probably put this right there, and actually let's undo that for a second. Make sure we delete the right half. We want to delete that side. Okay, and then we'll just kind of flatten it out here by scaling it on the X. And we'll just figure out where this needs to sit. Push it back a bit. Okay, and I think I squashed it a little bit too much, so we'll just scale that back a bit more. Okay, that should be good enough for the camera. Okay, I think that should work fine. So we'll just move on to the next piece. And while we're at it, actually, let's, before we forget, add the little glass lens in there. Okay, so we're actually going to do that over another cylinder. If you want to be more lazy, you could actually just leave the glass intact across the hole here and just put it right through that border, but we'll just make it quick. It only takes a second. Alright, so we'll drag out another cylinder here, make it about the size of the frame. Thickness doesn't matter right now. Alright, so we're going to push this in. Whoops. Get rid of those height segments. We'll leave it at like 24 sides, and we'll just take this way down. Okay, and we'll fit it in just inside on that lip. Let's do this from the top, it'll be a little easier to see. Okay, so we'll put it like right there and make it a little bit more thin. Okay, and we'll just chuck another material on there for a second and just take the opacity down a little bit. Okay, I think that should work fine. Okay, so I'll take care of that one. Okay, so let's do the flash now. Okay, so let's grab this piece. And I'm just going to throw on that transparent material there so we can see where the hole is a bit. Okay, I think we'll just make this from scratch. As you can see on the reference here, we kind of have a thicker border, and it's a little hard to see what's going on there, so we're just going to make something up for the actual flash lens. Okay, so let's just hide this outer piece for a second. We don't really need to have the glass in there. I'm just going to select the back piece by itself, do Control-I, and hide select it. Okay, we'll zoom in on this, and again, the blueprints aren't going to be any help, so let's just do it by eye. Start this with maybe a tube again for the outer border. Okay, to make it a little bit bigger than we need. Actually, we'll maybe inset it in a little bit more so we can actually see that there's a hole cut here. Alright, so I'm going to take that in pretty thick. Let's do maybe like that. Give it a little bit of thickness. Okay, and we'll push it in here. Okay, you want this one to be, you know, pretty much right out on the surface. Alright, let's actually take up the radius just a little bit to cover that other edge. Okay, we'll also take up the height a little bit, like that. And let's convert to editable poly. We don't need the back or side polygons here, so we'll ring those two edges, Control-click polygon and dilute them out. And it virtually has no detail that I can see on the front, so let's just maybe give this edge here a little bit of a chamfer. Let's loop that edge around the front there, and we'll do a chamfer. Take this down a bit. And we'll leave some kind of beveled edge here, so let's do maybe about 0.3 and okay, and then we'll just support this. 2 segments. Okay, and same thing here. Ring on the inner edge, 1 segment. Okay, let me just change the color so you can actually see something. Let's move that a little bit closer actually. And 1 on the outside here. Actually, we'll do 2 on this one because we're going to need to pull that border in just in case we can see through there. Alright, so let's pinch this out the same way. And then we'll just extrude this outer border in just a little bit here. Alright, so let's shift drag that back. It doesn't have to be a lot. Alright, we'll add 1 support edge on the side here as well. Okay, we'll take out that back edge, which we don't need. Okay, so really simple for this piece. We'll smooth it. Okay, 1 iteration should be enough on this. We'll do something for the center here. And I think we'll use maybe just another cylinder for this piece. From what I can tell, it's flat, it's not spherical, so let's just do another cylinder right in the center. Just a little bit bigger than the opening. Okay, and again, let's just actually use the align tool here to center this stuff. Alright, I'm just going to center it to the other tube there, and we'll just choose center, and okay. Okay, I think that should work fine. Okay, so once again, we don't need the back polygons, so let's grab those and delete them out. And we really don't even need the side polygons, so let's delete those as well. We'll just keep the front faces. Okay, and let's maybe do something here. I'm going to loop this edge and control backspace out for a second, and then I'm going to select all the edges and connect it up again. And we'll do maybe like something like 6 segments, no pinch, no slide, no okay. We'll just see if we can give this a little bit more detail. Alright, so with those loops still selected, I'm going to do a chamfer on them. Take the amount way down. We'll do about 0.1 and okay, and then we're gonna maybe just extrude out some of these rings here so we have some detail on this part. Alright, so we're gonna select every edge between those chamfers all the way down to the center, ring them, control click polygon, extrude them. Okay, we just need to come out a little bit on that. Doesn't have to be much at all. Now we'll do about 0.1 and okay. And before we add any edges, let's just see what it looks like smoothed out. Okay, in that center, you can see it's got some artifacting there. That's not a big deal because this is super small. If you want to fix it, just add another segment in the center. Okay, so select the center edge, just do a connect with one segment, and okay. And that might be enough to fix it, we'll see. Okay, that's more than good enough for the flash. Alright, and we want to have it tucked in a bit here, so we'll just figure out how deep that needs to be. Something like that should be good. Okay, and let's unhide it all for a second. Just want to see how this is actually looking. Okay, you don't need to go 2 iterations all these small pieces if you don't want to. You can take that down to 1, or even leave it unsmooth if you want. Oops, let's just assign that shader to the inside there. Okay, so I think that looks fine for the flash. We should be done pretty much with all the holes that we need to cut, as well as the lenses and flashes. We do need to make some more minor adjustments here. We need to adjust these buttons a little bit more. This one is probably sticking out a little bit too much. And of course we need to do something with the USB port down at the bottom here, which I think we'll tackle next.